Hey guys! In this video we're making this super cute little wire wrapped heart shaped crystal. It's inspired by the Barbie diamond castle necklace. It's quite a simple wrap. This is the back here, which has two wires coming down on each side. Our little heart shaped crystal is really secure inside the wrap, and the front has this really cute little X shape holding that crystal secure. Our rose quartz heart-shaped crystal is about 25 millimeters wide and 25 millimeters tall and about 10 millimeters deep. Now for our wire wrap today, we need about 12 inches of 20 gauge dead soft silver wire. First up, we make our bail. So placing the ends of our wire together and gently bending on this other side to form a little bend in the middle of our wire. Now grabbing it with our round nose pliers, we bring the wire around the round nose pliers 2 times to form 2 loops around, readjusting our pliers here so that we can bring this wire right around 2 times for a nice strong bail. Making sure your loops are sitting nice and round and next to each other. When you're happy with your loops and they're nice and tidy, then grab your loops and just bring these wires out nice and straight. Then we're going to twist these wires around 2.5 turns. So that's 1, 2.5, so that our bail sits sideways. Checking those loops are still nice and round. Now we can grab our crystal and start to see how our wire is going to fit on there. Now these wires here need to come downwards a little bit, so just working them down, making sure not to undo the twist at the top. Now we want to bend this top area of wire. So this twist part, we want to bend it backwards so that it's going to sit over the center of our heart. So just test it sitting on your crystal, and when you turn the heart on its side, you want that bail sitting right over the center. So just work with your wire until you're happy with it. You do want a little part of the twist sitting above the heart so that you're going to be able to wrap around the bottom of your bail. Now just make sure that these wires are coming off nice and straight and tidy looking, especially near the top there. So you're really just taking your time and making sure that you're happy with this part of your wire wrap. That little bend is still there and that it fits nicely onto the top of your heart-shaped crystal. Once you're happy with the position of it, then we can move on to wrapping our wires around. Now, holding the bail firmly onto your heart-shaped crystal, we want these wires to sit one across each side of the heart. So about halfway up the side of the crystal here, we hold the wire firmly on and just bend the wire around the back of the crystal and bring it up near the bail in the center. So keeping that bail in the middle and holding our wire on firmly, folding this wire around the back as well and bringing that up near the bail. Now we want our wires to sit nice and even around both sides of the heart, and that bail is sitting right in the center. So now's your time to sort of adjust any wires if you need to, making sure they're sitting in the positions that you want before you move forward. Now bending one wire back out of the way and holding our wire wrap firmly onto the crystal with that bail in the center, we bring this other wire around to the bottom of the bail, 1 full loop around. making sure it's nice and tidy in there around the bottom of your bail. Now you can see this wire on the right side is nice and tight fitting around the heart, and then this one on the left is our one we still have yet to wrap. So we want this second one to be nice and even with the first one. So again, holding that wire wrap on nice and firmly, we want to bring this wire around the left side in the same position so that it can sit nice and evenly with the other wire. So just taking some time to get it sitting in that same position, making sure your bail's sitting right in the center of your heart. Once it's in the right position, you can bring this wire around the bottom of your bail as well, bringing it around one full loop around to lock that wire into place. So you should have two quite even wires coming around each side of your heart-shaped crystal, and they should be quite even on the front and the back. Now from here, you want to decide which side you want the front and back of your wire wrap to be. So I actually think it looks better when it's got a higher point where these wires come down. So see here where they come right from the top, and this one here they cross over slightly lower. So this side here will be the back, and this other side with the wires up high will look great when we bring the other wires around the front. So whichever side you decided you wanted the back to be, you need to bring these wires around to come off the back side. So just bending each wire around the bottom of the bail so that it can come off this back side. Now each wire comes around the bail, and in that same direction you're going to keep bringing this wire around in a downwards direction so that we can bring it slightly under that other wire that's already wrapped around the heart-shaped crystal, making sure our wires are sitting nice and evenly and holding that bail up in the center, slowly working that first wire down underneath that other wire and around the front of our crystal. So it comes across and meets up with that wire on the opposite side. Now if you're happy with the position of your wire there, we're going to gently bend it and bring it underneath this wire. So I just leave it in that position for now, and then we'll bring this second wire around. So bringing it down and just below that other wire, bringing it around to the front and across to that opposite wire. Now we gently bend this wire as well and bring it underneath that wire. Pulling it into position so that we have a little cross formed on the front of our wire wrap. Now before we lock everything in place and secure it tight, you just want to check over your whole wire wrap, make sure everything's sitting nice and evenly, that that bail is still sitting right over the center, and everything is in the position that you want it. Now we can just focus on this front part and securing these wires onto the rest of the wrap. So just bringing each wire around itself, we're going to bring it round in a circle shape and bring it back underneath the same wire that it came under first. So if you can see that, I'm just gently bringing it around in a circle shape. And I'm just going to work with it to bring that in really nice and tight Gently bringing it around. Now doing the same on this side. Bringing it on the lower side so that it matches that first side as well. So gently bringing it around in a circle shape and bringing it under that wire. Gently working with it so that you don't stretch the wire wrap out of place. So make sure your wires are still sitting in the right positions. If the wires are still sitting nice and evenly and your crystal is locked in place, it's nice and tight, then you can go ahead and just pull these ones nice and tight, lock them in place. Making sure it's sitting nice and tidy and tight. Now if you're happy with it, you can go ahead and cut these tails off nice and short and crimp them in tight so there's no sharp edges. Making sure they're sitting nice and tidy. Now you can take some time to check over your whole wire wrap, making sure your wires are sitting in the position that you want them to and sitting nice and even, and that your bail is sitting nice and round and the loops are together as well. So there's your heart-shaped wire wrapped crystal with the diamond castle inspiration.